Don't worry, I've got guys who can patch all of this up like new.
No, that title isn't just to be clever. Love Hurts is literally a waste of time. It's a movie that gives off a lot of Bullet Train vibes. It even has David Leitch as producer. But while that movie was a lot of fun and never tried to be more than it should be, this one definitely didn't try, and the fun elements are heavily broken up by a badly paced narrative that isn't even attempting anything new.
You wasted my time!
Marvin Gable, a high-on-life real estate agent, has his happy life turned upside down as, get this, his former life as an assassin catches up with him as the Company, that's what they're called, the Company, want to eliminate another assassin, Rose, due to a botched job in the past, and they think Marvin may know where she is, as you won't believe it, she was his former lover.
Not again!
The Company is run by his brother Knuckles, who has engaged in money laundering, and add on the completely new idea that Marvin was supposed to kill Rose, but didn't because he loved her. You have the perfect setup for an overly used narrative that doesn't even offer that much in terms of basic entertainment. You may be wondering how that is. It starts out decent enough, Marvin appears to be an enjoyable lead, keeping on the positive side of things, in contrast to his clinically depressed assistant Ashley, and after the first big fight between him and poetry-loving knife assassin Raven, yes, you heard that right, you actually think you may get what you came to see. Similar to Bullet Train, most of the fights are pretty fun, though not quite as creative, but the highlights are definitely the agents King and Otis, who are really the only funny parts of the movie. The fights with them are the best scenes by far, their dialogue is clever and feels genuine, but if that's all the movie can offer, it's not really too good. There is a bit when the poetry assassin and depressed assistant form a romance, a concept that hints at what the movie could be. It's Valentine's Day after all, but the problem is, unlike Bullet Train, that still had an engaging narrative, this is the bare minimum. But I don't think they realize that. Way too much time is spent explaining stuff that isn't new to anybody, and while there are elements to enjoy here, the focus isn't on any of that. Instead, it's on our two leads that aren't that good. I'm referring mainly to Rose. I don't know what kind of character she's supposed to be, well, more so plot device, but she doesn't have any personality traits, aside from wanting to make Marvin the way he was, and just acting weird. Speaking of Marvin, he's okay, definitely likable, but let's face it, not remotely memorable. The idea of wanting to escape your violent past, pursue a life of normalcy, is a premise that's beyond tiring, and I just don't know why anybody thinks we need more of that. You really have to do something to make that idea and that lead stand out, and it's simply not there. Yeah, he likes his new life, that's obvious, but Rose keeps saying running is no good or something. Marvin isn't the one running, she kinda fucked up his new life after she saved her, but Marvin has to face it because that's the way it is. The finale is, the finale. Rose is given a spare bad guy to kill, Marvin takes on his brother for a just okay final fight, he doesn't kill him, Rose does shoot him for good measure, and he's taken away by Russian gangsters he cheated, who Rose contracted. If that sounds anticlimactic, that's because it is. Marvin then embraces his past and future, whatever that means, but given a big shootout took place in the house for his clients, in front of his clients, I feel his future is kinda fucked. If you were to ask me what genuinely stands out about this, I'd be hard-pressed to say. Otis and King are comedic when they're on screen, Poetry Assassin and the Assistant are for some reason the most fascinating, and the rest is forgettable to mediocre. Which really didn't need to be, but whenever I see a movie like this, the main thing I want to see as the main focus is the chaotic nature. It's still a movie about an assassin turned real estate agent. We have outlandish comedic characters, the formula is there, but so much time is spent on the stuff we don't care about. Nothing happens in between to keep you invested, just bad editing. There's a scene when Knuckles kills Marvin's boss, mentor, friend, because bad guy. The scene is there to remind us that Marvin is good because the boss admires him, as if that wasn't obvious enough. But like I said, there's a relatively long part of the movie that's just plain hard to get through. Mainly because I don't remotely buy these two as a couple until the plot says they are. Practically nothing in terms of chemistry. Why Marvin cares for her, I don't know. And even when the action does return, it still isn't anything that special. The finale is generic. And the stuff that gets most of the attention, Mervyn, Rose, Knuckles, and of course, the plot, aren't done that well. There is some fun to be had with the side elements. You would think given less than an hour and a half runtime, it wouldn't be that hard to keep you entertained, but when you blatantly ignore the good and focus on the who gives a shit, somehow your easy to not mess up premise ends up messed up. Oddly enough, this opened alongside Hard Eyes, which probably is the more joyful movie. Now that you mention it, I should have just seen that.
This is a fuck-up of not insignificant proportions.
But that's on me, so let me know what you think about this fuck-up. Remember to like the video, subscribe down below, and check out the gaming channel for the same content with games. Link in the description. I'm the Analyst, and remember kids, a successful career is not running away. That's a fucked up concept.